Before Infinity War, everyone saw Thanos as the big bad guy, and we were all looking forward to seeing him defeated, since he had shaken up the MCU universe in such a negative way. It seemed like Thanos was destined to be just another generic villain, like Malekith or Ronan, someone whose only character trait was wanting something really, really bad. And let's be honest, that's the flaw of most poorly written villains in movies. But that was without counting on the Russo brothers and screenwriters Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, who brilliantly infused Thanos with emotions and a real sense of humanity. Hi everyone, and welcome to House of Marvel for a new video. Today, we're gonna ask ourselves why Thanos didn't just do the job himself right away to collect the stones, and instead sent Ronan and Loki, who both failed. Get your coffee ready, make yourself comfortable. I'm Julian, and you're watching House of Marvel. Honestly, some people might take the idea to the extreme and say that if you look at the story from a certain angle, you could see Thanos as a superhero. But in reality, if he were truly a superhero, then instead of killing half the universe, he would have just used his almost godlike powers to double the universe's resources, which would have been a bit easier to pull off. Let's take a step back. What was Thanos' original plan? Why did he keep asking lackeys like Ronan and Loki to do the job for him? And above all, why did he give Loki an Infinity Stone with the scepter when he wanted to keep him for himself? There's a very big and quite interesting theory that's been around for a while now, explaining that Thanos waited to start his quest himself until Odin, the Ancient One, and Ego were dead. Kinda like in DC, where Darkseid waits for Superman's death before going after the Mother Boxes. Even though it's an interesting theory, I don't think that's the case here. Of course, the deaths of Odin, the Ancient One, and Ego created a huge power vacuum in the universe, but that wasn't planned, and he probably would have killed those entities himself to speed up his quest. And today, I'm super excited to share with you a really awesome tip to save money on your streaming subscriptions, because we're all tired of paying a fortune just to have access to all the platforms. As you know, I love watching MCU movies and series on Disney+, keeping up with the latest content on Netflix, but also on HBO Max. But let's be honest, all these subscriptions can get super expensive really fast, and I've gotten a lot of messages or comments from some of you saying you don't have Disney Plus because it's just too pricey. That's where Gamsgo comes in. Gamsgo is a service that helps you cut down the costs of your favorite streaming platforms. How? By offering shared accounts among subscribers of the platform. By using Gamsgo, you can keep enjoying all your favorite content while saving a ton. Everything is super simple. I've been using it for 2 months and everything's been perfect. The only thing that's changed is my bills have been cut by 4. The service is available in Europe, but also in North America. And the best part is, I have a special link in the description of this video. By clicking on this link, you can go straight to the platform, and by using my promo code, you'll get an extra discount when you sign up. Don't miss this chance to enjoy your favorite movies, series, music, and videos at an unbeatable price. Click the link in the description, use my promo code, and start saving today. To move forward with my theory, let's look at the stones one by one. First of all, the Space Stone. Remember, Thanos has been searching for the stones for centuries, but some of them have been hidden for several millennia. Odin probably hid the Space Stone on Earth when Asgard intervened during the Frost Giants invasion in the year 965. If you think about it, Earth is actually a pretty great place to hide a celestial object. At that time, the planet was technologically primitive, so no advanced race would think to look for it here. Plus, the people of Earth didn't have the technology to detect an Infinity Stone, at least not for another 1,000 years. But most importantly, Earth is one of the 9 realms, and it's under the protection of Asgard. That means Heimdall can keep an eye on the actions of every person on Earth. So Odin hid the Tesseract behind a sculpture of the World Tree, and I guess that this chamber where it was stored also had some kind of cloaking device or enchantment, whatever, to keep advanced races from detecting its energy signature. Then Red Skull enters the picture, steals the Tesseract, and starts making weapons with its energy. That would have been a good time for Thanos to show up on Earth and claim the stone, but at that point, he has no idea it's on Earth, since he's not omniscient yet. Now let's fast forward about 70 years, when Loki is exiled from Asgard and is secretly living on Earth. He discovers the Tesseract by controlling Erik Selvik's mind. We see this just as a reminder in the post-credit scene of the movie Thor. But how did Loki know he needed to control Erik Selvik's mind when they hadn't even had a scene together? At this point, Loki is a cunning and vicious character who wants to attack Earth because he thinks humanity is an inferior and backward race, but also because he knows it's under the protection of his brother. He knows about Jane, so by extension, he knows about Erik Selvig and all the people Thor cares about on the planet the Asgardians call Midgard. Loki recognizes the Tesseract because it belongs to his father, and he immediately makes the connection with Thanos. He then sets his plan in motion to conquer Earth with Thanos' army in exchange for the Tesseract. But then, why would Thanos, who wants to collect the Infinity Stones, give one of the stones to Loki? Just to remind you, Loki's scepter contains the Mind Stone. I have a theory about this. First of all, why would Thanos send Loki in the first place and not someone else? Because Loki is a prince of Asgard, and Thanos doesn't want any trouble with Odin. His goal is to send an overwhelming strike force against an under-equipped opponent, then set up a friendly government. Loki, as a member of Asgard's royal family, would be in a unique position to negotiate a truce with the throne. Otherwise, Odin might try to take back the Tesseract and Earth by force. Because, let me remind you, Thanos is attacking one of the 9 realms under Asgard's protection here. But remember, the Asgardian armies couldn't help Earth because the Bifrost had been destroyed. So Odin sent Thor to Earth using dark magic, which is also how Heimdall sent Hulk to Earth at the beginning of Infinity War. But from what we've seen, Asgard can't send an entire army that way, just one person at a time. So Thanos gave Loki the Mind Stone for 3 reasons. First reason, there was no room for failure, and Loki needed all the help he could get. Second reason, Thanos couldn't go himself without risking Asgard and the other realms getting in the way of his quest. And third reason, Loki didn't know that the scepter contained the Mind Stone, so he would never use it to its full potential. And when the scepter was left on Earth, Thanos probably hoped that humans would use it to destroy themselves, which almost happened. Now, let's talk about the Power Stone that was on Morag. Remember, Thanos tasked Ronan with finding the orb containing the Power Stone for him, and in exchange, he would destroy Xandar. I don't think anyone knew for sure that the stone would be on Morag, but it was probably part of a broader search. And in the Guardians of the Galaxy audio commentary, James Gunn explains that Morag is usually covered in water, but about every 500 years, the tides recede and you can walk on its surface. And since there's a temple dedicated to the stones on the planet, as shown by these carvings on the walls, it's a good place to start looking. So the Collector hired this pawnbroker to hire the Ravagers and explore Morag. And we know the Collector was aware of this temple because you can see those same carvings in his holograms. I honestly think it is quite likely that Ronan had numerous specialized search teams scouring the galaxy for this orb, but these guys just happened to get incredibly lucky. Otherwise, if people had known the stone was there, Thanos would have gone to get the orb himself. And this is another situation where it seems like Thanos sent an emissary when he should have gone himself. But he sent his daughters, the best assassins in the universe, to oversee Ronan. And Thanos was probably, on his end, busy searching for the Soul Stone, which he had absolutely no lead on. I also think Thanos might have wanted to use Ronan as an ally against the Avengers, since those heroes had just pushed back an entire Chitauri army during the Battle of New York. Ronan messed everything up and made the situation worse. All he had to do was steal a metal orb from a dead planet, and instead, the orb ended up being protected by one of the most powerful armies in the galaxy. And it is most likely at that exact moment that Thanos finally tells himself, "Alright then, I will just have to do it myself. Fine, I will do it myself." Up until now, he had been worried about upsetting the balance of power, which would mean a huge commitment of resources. If Thanos had mobilized all his strength to capture a stone, then the governments of the galaxy, like the Kree Empire or Xandar for example, would probably have joined forces to stop him. That's why he preferred to stay in the shadows. But once he realized that he could only win by using brute force, he was forced to get involved himself. Moreover, at this point, most of the stones had been revealed, and he could get them before anyone else could mobilize to stop him. And the faster he collected them, the more powerful he would become, making it impossible to stop him from getting the remaining stones. So I don't think Ego's death played a role in Thanos' decision. Ego is the last Celestial, and he doesn't advertise that fact. He keeps his true nature very secret to further his own plan, which is to colonize all the planets. If Ego had discovered Thanos' plan, he would have tried to stop him. Another theory is that after the Ancient One's death, Thanos seized the opportunity to take the Time Stone. But here too, how would Thanos have known that the Time Stone was on Earth? In fact, up until the events of Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme could have hidden it in another dimension, surrounded by spells. Before the Avengers, if Thanos had known there were 2 stones on Earth, he would have launched a massive attack on Earth and would have had 3 stones right away. I think it's more likely that he was alerted to the presence of the Time Stone when Doctor Strange used it so blatantly. Remember the warning that Mordo gave him? He said, "Temporal manipulations can create branches in time, unstable dimensional openings, spatial paradoxes, time loops." Using the Time Stone could have created a shockwave in the space-time continuum that probably spread throughout the universe. Without Strange, that stone would never have been found. Now it's your turn to give me your opinion. What do you think of this theory? Why do you think Thanos didn't get involved in the hunt for the stones right away? Let me know in the comments, and feel free to send me your theories. I love reading them and debating with you. And as always, I want to say a huge thank you for watching this video today. If you truly enjoyed the content and found it helpful, please take a moment to hit that like button and share your personal thoughts or questions with us in the comment section below. Also, to make certain that you don't miss out on any of my upcoming videos, please subscribe to the channel and remember to turn on all notifications so you stay updated. I really look forward to seeing you again very soon for our next adventure on House of Marvel.